up, guys? Thanks so much for clicking on the video. My name is Leah, and let's recap and review Real Housewives of Orange County. This is season 18, and I think this is episode 10. Yeah, I think it's 10. So let's get into it. Sometimes before we get into it, we get a little spicy. And this one story came across my timeline, and it's about Tamra and her supposedly trying to get people fired. So Mad Beefs posted this, I want to say either on last Tuesday or this Tuesday. I think this Tuesday. I think it was this Tuesday. But they said this: Tamra is experiencing a Lisa Rinna type downfall right now. Hashtag RHOC. And so it's like 4 pictures and 3 pictures in a video. So let me play the video for you first, and then we'll get into the actual the other parts of the collage they made.
Tamra and Teddy were talking about us on their podcast.
Tamra said, I reached out to Kiki Monique. And Teddy was like, what, about Sheena? And then Tamra was like, no, I come out one day, I turn my phone on, and I'm seeing these DMs come in from Tamra. And she was like, were you just hosting radio, Andy? I said, no. I said, I'm at the Tom Girardi trial. I said, like, why? And she goes, were you hosting when someone called in and called Alexis a whore and told me and said that I was a piece of shit? I said, I'm not hosting. I'm at this trial. And she's like, I was so mad. I contacted Andy because I'm just, and so I was like, what? Are you trying to get us fired from our jobs? I'm like, what is happening? I said, it wasn't me, but I said, in the future, like, if I ever piss you off, can you come to me first without trying to get me fired? Because I really need my job.
Oh, you just heard that clip. So I know Kiki Monique is normally a content creator I see do like red carpets with the Bravo celebrities. And we know Sheena is on Vanderpump Rules. So I didn't know they had a show together. I just thought Kiki had her own like platform, but I guess it's a platform she does with Sheena. And basically she was like, Tamra called me screaming about something I know nothing about. And it's kind of funny that Tamra feels so inclined to do so when I'm just like, Tamra, you and Teddy use your platform to talk about your coworkers. You allow your other coworkers to get on that platform and talk disparagingly about all of your, like, because let's be honest, Bravo, when they have BravoCon, everybody there that is a Bravo celebrity is a coworker, even if they're on separate like shows. Y'all all work underneath like the umbrella of NBC Universal and like that corporation. So for you to get that butthurt about someone either saying something disparaging about Alexis or you is mad hypocritical when you and Teddy be on 2 T's in a pod saying whatever you feel needs to be said. And so let's not do that. Let's not dictate how people run their own platforms, ma'am. Don't do that. So then Mad Beefs ended up posting a picture of, I guess, an Insta story or a DM on Instagram where Tamra said, I did not try to get Kiki fired. Jesus, this is crazy. So then underneath the actual post that was the original video with Kiki and Sheena in it, did I call her Sheena? No, I think I did call her Sheena. Sheena in it. You got Jen underneath the comments being like, I need my job as well. She just did the same thing to me. Best of luck to you both. And then Vicky also commented saying, typical Tamra. So then Mad Beefs goes on to actually post a DM that they got from Tamra, or a DM that was sent to them that like where she DM'd somebody and she said this. She said, but I was referring to someone on my cast that was commenting horrible things about me and my husband. Then when I reported it to Bravo, we are not allowed to do that per our contracts. She was crying to people saying I'm trying to get her fired. So she's talking about Jen. So Jen responded by saying this, no, she said, no tears here. And if I were crying, you would see actual tears. I love people who do use their platform to trash people. Mob put a hit out on me, going to jail. It's dark. He's a criminal. But when someone makes a comment about her, she calls and reports it. So then it continued with Mad Beefs, I guess, responding to Jen saying this, we give you a pass to say the nastiest things at the reunion, queen. And so Jen says underneath that, where she says, thank you, so over this bullying, this bully BS. And then I think that was the last part of it. Oh, no, it wasn't. Because Mad Beefs ended up reposting something towards Tamara where they said, "Hey, Tamara, I'd messaged you on IG, but you blocked me on there too, even though I've never interacted with you on here. The person deleted the post even though they were defending you. I reposted the message you sent that person. They are scared you're going to sue them." Oh, so that was a post that they got from somebody else. So they did not get the DM. So here's my thing. I do agree with Jen when she was like, if you can dish it out and like if you can dish it, then you need to be able to take it. So if I start saying slick stuff about your husband and how y'all came together and everything, then it should be okay because you said all these disparaging things about my husband. My only caveat to that is, Jen, your husband low key is a criminal. Like if he gets convicted, because it's feeling like he about to get convicted, he's a criminal, sis. And when you read the documents about it, it is giving very much he helped allegedly steal $17 million in a gambling fraud scam. So, I mean, Tamara wrong, but she not wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, she wrong for saying that stuff to you. But, like, it is given he might go to jail for, because the man that did, the interpreter is looking at 30 years in federal prison. And the fact that your fiance and that other man are named in it and they're working with the feds right now lets me know the feds don't be setting up like charges on people unless they got evidence. Okay, you don't mess with the alphabet mafias. Okay, that's the CIA, the IRS, or the FBI. Because 9 times out of 10, well, honestly, 10 times out of 10, if they coming for you, they already got enough evidence to prove that you did what they say you did. Okay. But yeah, I mean, I do think Jen need to fight back. So fight back, girl. All right, y'all. So let's talk about it. So the episode opens up where it left off, where Shannon is in Heather's cabin and they're talking. Heather is telling Shannon, like, "Hey, girl, like, do you want to come to dinner?" Because this is after Shannon shows Heather the picture of like the blood and everything. And Shannon is like, "I don't really know because I'm real puffy because, she's been crying all day." And Heather's like, "No, I got glam over here. Just come over here and they're going to get you right." And so she's like, "Okay, cool. I'll go get my clothes and then I'll come over here." So then there's Heather ends up being like, "This is bad." Like she said in her confessional, she was like, "I've never seen Shannon this fragile before. And this is just, this is bad." And the thing about it is Shannon has always given like wounded bird lamb like energy, just very like a wilting flower type stuff. But we know she can give it to people. But I think this is just a lot for her. Like she was really in love with John. They break up. She's publicly embarrassed and ashamed because, sis, you could have, you could have killed somebody, you could have killed yourself. And that's all on the internet of you like driving recklessly into someone's house because you were under the influence. On top of that, they're exposing that you possibly have a drinking problem. And then now you got to deal with the new girlfriend and now your man trying to sue you. It's a lot going on. It's a lot going on. It's like stuff on top of stuff. So we then see this scene of Emily going to Alexis's cabin to talk to her about Shannon. And so Emily is just kind of like, "Girl, so what's like woman to woman, you don't think you doing a lot when it comes to Shannon?" Like, and Alexis is like, "No, like we can't put the tube back. We can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. Like if she knows about the videos, if we were really such horrible people, they would probably be out already, but they're not. But we just need her to know that we got them if she want to keep going." And so Alexis gets frustrated where she's just like, "Girl, like I'm hurt too. She's hurt John. Like it's not only her. Like y'all are accepting the fact that she's still drinking after being under the influence and almost crashing her car into someone's house. Like why is there this much compassion?" And so Emily is just trying to get Alexis to know that, like, "Girl, you doing a lot. Like, you just doing a lot." And it's crazy when you put things into context that her and John have not been together, like, that long. Like, they have not been together that long. They just did their whole like engagement announcement, and I think she said 9 months. So this means like like y'all by this time y'all were probably only together like maybe 3 or 4 months. Like, y'all had not been together that long for you to be feeling this type of way. So it's like, yeah, girl, you doing a lot. So then Alexis gets mad and feels like, why are y'all bringing this up? And it's a charity event weekend for family equality. And it's like, okay, it's a charity event weekend, but like, you not doing charitable things, so we gonna bring it up. So then she basically tells Emily she doesn't even know if she's gonna come to dinner. And Emily's like, okay, what you want me to do? I'll let the girls know. Alexis decides she gonna stay in the room because she just can't take being around Shannon right now that Shannon knows about the videos. So they all go sit down to have dinner. And as they're sitting there, everyone's wondering like where Alexis is. And why is it so bright on this camera? My bad, y'all. They're wondering where Alexis is. And next thing you know, you end up seeing Gina be like, well, Emily had a conversation with her and she said she ain't want to come because of Shannon, because they told her about the videos. And Shannon is like, excuse me if I'm being a bitch, but why wouldn't none of y'all tell me? And it's more so she's giving this energy to Tamra. She was like, why wouldn't you tell me about these tapes? And then Tamra's like, I think she feels like she's public enemy number one, like you all hate her because she's with John. And everyone's like, nobody cares that she's with John. Then I was glad that Gina was like, she's trying to make herself a martyr and she's not one. And I said, she not. She got on her cape for a man that she probably only known for like 3 months. Calm down. Calm down, Alexis. So Shannon gets frustrated and she gets up and she was like, you know what, Tamara, we had a conversation about this. And why does it, girl? Too glossy, my bad. We had a conversation about this and you told me that you would feel the same way I feel if you were in my shoes. So she was like, don't even try with me right now. So Shannon gets up and everyone's like, are you leaving? She's like, no, I'm going to the bathroom, and she walks away. So as she's walking away, she's like, it's mighty convenient that Alexis and Tamara are even friends because they didn't even like each other. So they do a flashback at the reunion in 2012 where Tamara and Alexis was going off on each other. That's when Tamara called her Jesus. Well, we know she's been calling her Jesus Jugs, but she kept calling her Jesus Jugs. I think Alexis like, girl, you're insane. And so Tamara ends up saying that she became friends with Alexis because Alexis confided in her with like what she's dealing with emotionally. And I don't negate that Alexis isn't going through a lot. Like, her mom just died. She has a trans child, and if her husband is still the way he used to be, I know parenting with and you respecting your child's identity versus with someone who probably does not respect their child, like your child, is a lot to deal with. Then dealing with that child's feelings of like, why does my father not accept me? And all like, so I can see that she might be dealing with a lot, but she's still being a bird and she's being weird and she's being cringy. I will not let go of her going like, fun Lexi. What? I will not let that go. More fun. I'm not letting that go. Happy. So Heather ends up being like, it's really hard trying to be friends with both of them. Like, we trying to support both of them, and it's a lot. So then you hear Shannon yelling while she's having a conversation with Jen, and Shannon is like, he's being like, Alexis is being coached by him because he used to coach me before the shows. He told me 9 months before before he broke up with me, everybody would want what we have, Shannon. And she was like, John is obsessed with wanting to be perceived as this good guy. And she was like, and he's not. He's trying to hurt me, and she's helping him hurt me, and I'm over it. I don't ever want to see Alexis again. I'm not gonna see her again. And then she thought about it. She said, no, I'll see her tomorrow at the fashion show. But after that, I'm done. I said, Shannon. So then Heather is in her confessional being like, honestly, all of this stuff needs to be tapered. Like, y'all need to taper this conversation, this argument. Because when it comes tomorrow, it's all about equality and family equality, okay? Like, we're here to support these people's families. So then Shannon comes and she sits back down and she basically says, I do not want to argue with you guys about John and Alexis. So can we not talk about it anymore? And everyone's like, yeah, girl, we don't want to talk about it anymore. But then Shannon said something under her breath, and I couldn't make it out, but it was something about like the lawsuit. And I don't know if she said that like, I don't remember what she said. I don't know if she said that like something about John, like it kind of being over, or like they came to some type of agreement. But like I watched the clip back, and I also watched the episode back again, and I couldn't make out what was being said, you know? So they end up pivoting because Shannon brings up that Gina got a vagina rash, and I said I didn't need to know that. But you know, it was all laughs at the table. We have, because it's the next day, are the girls splitting up into two groups. So you have Shannon, Heather, Katie, and Jen going to do like this meditation thing. Shannon showed up late. Everybody was already on their blankets with the instructor. And she's like, my brush. I couldn't brush my, I said, Shannon, sit down. Just frazzled, all discombobulated. And so she got her jacket on. she got a little jacket on, like not her jacket on, but she like picked up one of the blankets and wrapped herself in the blanket. And she was just like, it's hard for me to meditate because my mind still goes. And like, I agree with her. Like I'm trying to do meditation like in the morning. And at first I think me trying to do it for 10 minutes was too long, because after a while I just started thinking about things I needed to do for my day. And I guess it's supposed to be like, you know, you clear your mind. So I switched to like doing the whole like doing the breathing in the morning and stuff like that. But I want to get to the point where I can at least do meditation for like 5 minutes of like me not thinking about anything or something, like, or just being like, not complaining, but you know what I mean? Clear my mind before I go on a tangent. So they get up from that. They thank the lady. Now, mind you, before they get up from the meditation, Shannon is hacking. She coughing while everybody is trying to like breathe in, breathe out, take in nature. It was a mess. So they get up and they're about to like go do their things. And Katie wants to have a conversation with Heather. Like she wants to apologize again. And Heather's just like, Katie, I don't want to talk about this. Like, this is not the time. We just did all of that. I don't want to talk about this. And Katie is like, she's upset because she's like, Heather keeps cutting me off. And I feel like she's not giving a chance to like get to know me. And I'm like, but that's your fault, Katie, because you came into this show with an agenda. Like, why would you think she would want to get to know you? Like, you already felt some type of way about Heather. You felt like she snubbed you at, what's her name, at the Christmas party that I guess Sutton and Garcelle threw. Then you come up with this whole paparazzi situation. Like, you already felt like you already knew who Heather was before you even met her. And now all of a sudden you want her to get to know you. So it's like, that's crazy, because if you wanted her to get to know you, you wouldn't have never brought up the paparazzi thing. You would have brushed off the whole, like, her ignoring you or snubbing you at the birthday party, not the birthday party, the Christmas party, and you would have tried to move forward with her. And I don't fault her. Like, I wouldn't want to talk to you either. I wouldn't want to get to know you because clearly you already feel a way about me. So why am I going to have to, like, work double time to make you feel any differently about me? That was your problem. Like, if you wanted to get to know her, then you should have given her the opportunity. And you didn't do that. So now you have to wait until she feels like she want to give you the opportunity. So the other group, which is Alexis, Gina, Emily, and Tamra, go make bread. And while they're at the bread making place, Alexis thanks them for allowing her to come because she complained about being stuck in her room for 13 hours. And she's like, you know, I want to get to a place with Shannon where we could be cool. And the same way I feel about Katie, I feel about Alexis. Like, you came in here with an agenda. Don't be expecting the other person who peeped the agenda to, like, comply with you. like Shannon don't gotta talk to you. Just like Heather doesn't have to talk to Katie after Katie did what she did. So Alexis is just like, I appreciate it. Emily is like, well, I'm glad that Alexis came, or like is wanting to be cool with us after what happened between me like going to speak to her in her room. So Gina ends up saying like, I understand why you're mad at Shannon, Tamra, because Emily is like, you seem to be so mad at her, Tamra. And Tamra is like, it's like, Emily's like, it feels like you lack compassion for her. And Tamra is like, it's not like that, but it's just like, I can't let that loaded gun back into my life because she ruins everything. Like, I'm just mad that like she still felt so comfortable to drink in front of me. And so Gina is like, I know how you feel. I know where you're coming from. She was like, why do you think I stopped drinking? Because she's 20 years older than me and I saw where my life was going and I didn't want that to happen. But you got to give her some type of compassion passion. Like, you have to give her something. All right. Like you can't just be like coming for her over and over and over. Like, let her breathe. And it's crazy to me that it's Gina and Emily who are really standing up to Tamra and being like, girl, we get why you're angry. You have valid reasons to be mad at Shannon. We all do. But at this point, you got to let it go. And you need to let it go. Let it go. We have is the fashion show. Like, everybody is invited to be a part of the fashion show. We find out that these are the prototypes for a line that Heather wants to launch. It's supposed to be very like basic, like your basic parts of your wardrobe. So like a nice pair of black slacks, a nice white collared shirt, some nice khakis, like nice jeans, like very like, you know, this is what every wardrobe has, and this is what every wardrobe needs in order to like make it better. And so she's asking everybody, do they like the outfits that they're picking out for them? She asks Emily, like, do you like this? Do you not? Emily says yes to everything. All the while she feels some type of way because all the other women are in these black pants, but she's in jeans because they don't have any black pants that fit her. So now she's like in the confessional breaking down because she feels like maybe she's been lying to herself about like losing weight. Like maybe she hasn't lost weight, and she's just feeling very insecure about her body around all these other women. We also find out that Shannon is leaving early because she's going to her Dos Amigas show with Vicky. And so Gina is trying to console Emily, being like, no, girl, you look great. Like, you look great. And honestly, a lot of these clothes don't fit everybody. Like, they're prototypes. They don't have enough sizes, so it's okay. So everyone walks the runway. For the most part, everyone looks fine. But I got irritated with Emily because Emily sometimes be so insecure that it's irritating, because it's like every single season you're talking about feeling like the fat friend. And I'm like, okay, we'll deal with it. And I'm saying that as someone who has felt that way. Like, you have to actually sit down and ask yourself, why do I feel this way and how do I get over that? Also, you make enough money and you don't really, we ain't seen you do lawyering stuff in like a month of Sundays. You could go sit on somebody's couch to help you work through these issues. And I feel like it's like this misconception for a lot of people that if they lose weight, if they get skinny, like everything will fall into place, when honestly all you did was change your outer appearance. You didn't change the inside of you. So if you have a bad image of what your body looks like, or you do have body dysmorphic disorder, you're still going to have it even if you are skinny, because you have not taken the time to actually sit down and like work through those issues and figure out why you don't like this part of your body. And you can't put that on other people, because I feel like what irritated me more is when I saw the preview for next episode where she gonna try to blame Heather for why she feel bad, because she feels bad about being fat or being bigger than the other women. And honestly, Emily's not fat. Even when she was bigger, I thought she looked fine. And like I said, she's a product of the environment of OC. She's an Amazon. She's a thick chick. If she was in Atlanta or on the South, really, even on the East Coast or like in the Midwest, they would be eating her up. But she lives in OC where the like prototype is stick thin, big titties, and blonde. That's half her cast. And maybe, and Emily always has this thing with Heather. Like, Emily does not like Heather. And I don't know if it's because Heather is skinny and she's the only brunette on the show, and she feels like that's her competition. But it's like, I want Emily to stop trying to blame people for her own body issues. I already told y'all, I feel like she low-key got an eating disorder, because that whole going to the gym every single day and you just drinking soup when you're done, that's not healthy, and you can't maintain that. So you need to go sit on somebody's couch and really ask them, like, hey, help me through this, because you too old to be blaming other people as to why you feel bad about your body. And Heather asked you, do you like this or do you not like this? You could have told them, do y'all got a skirt to put me in? Maybe they could see my legs. I don't want them to see all of this. I don't know. I can't. I think was it after I think it was either right before the fashion show or after the fashion show. No, I think it was before the fashion show. Tamra and Heather have a conversation outside, and they're asking each other, like, well, how was your event today? Like, you doing the bread making, you doing the meditation. And Heather's like, oh, it was I. Katie tried to talk to me after doing the meditation, and I'll admit, I cut her off because I didn't want to hear her. So then Tamra is like, I just feel like you're not giving her a chance or any grace. And Heather's looking at Tamra like, why would I, after the way that she responded to me? And so Tamra's like, I really feel like Gina set her up. And she said, we met up, and they show like 3 hours before the event. Katie and Tamra meets up, and Katie's like, no, I'm starting to feel like Gina set me up because Gina told me to tell her. She was like, Gina said, this is what you need to say to Heather. Like, okay, I have the paparazzi photos. You snubbed me at the Christmas party. You got weird and tagged me in a photo. And I know you're a liar. And so Tamara's like, whoa, she really told you to say that? And she was like, yeah. And then Tamara also says that, like, Gina says you're lying about the time, where she said, I've heard 3 different stories. I heard her say, like, after y'all had that conversation, she called you back within 10 minutes. Then it turned to 24 hours. And then it turned into like a month or this or that. And Katie's like, no, she did not call me back. Like, she said those things. She told me to bring it up. And now I feel like she's like pushed me to the wayside because of Heather. Then Katie tells Tamra that she said, Gina told me that she doesn't want to lose her connection to Heather because Heather is rich and can get her some really big clients. So Heather's like, what? And so then Heather's just like, at this point, Gina has lost me now. Cause what do you mean? So then we actually have a scene of where Gina and Heather are sitting down, and Heather's like, I don't really want to talk about this now at this event, but me and you need to have a conversation. Me and you need to have a conversation because I got some more information about our situation and I'm not happy with you. Heather ends up being like, I don't feel bad. In her confessional, she was like, I don't feel bad for cutting off Katie because I felt like she tried to talk to me at an inappropriate time, but I might need to have a conversation with her, especially with this new information that is being divulged to me by Tamra. So a lot of people were upset with Heather because they feel like, why is Heather allowing Tamra to play in her face and like get her against Gina? But I've always felt like Gina was an opportunist when it came to Heather. And I can see Heather being like, maybe they're telling me the truth, because if you knew in December that this lady has been going around or telling people that she has information on me about this whole paparazzi situation that happened last season, and me and you we've been friends longer than you've been friends with her, then I would start looking at Gina like, girl, do you really like me? Were you trying to set me up? Did you set Katie up? So I understand her being like, maybe I need to watch Gina. So Gina is now in her feelings after having this conversation with Heather, because she's like, what did I do? What did I do now? So then Jen goes and talks to Gina, and she's like, well, Katie been going around saying that you lied about the whole entire situation and that you're not being honest. And so Gina's like, okay, no, we need to have a conversation. Me and you need to have a conversation. So they move away from one part of the area of the party. Before I go on, Heather gave a really beautiful speech about her children, about family equality, and Terry even showed up. He was crying while during this speech, but Heather was like, she's been a part of this organization for the past several years, and it means a lot to her to be a part of something like this because she has 4 kids. Her oldest came out as being bisexual. Now she has her youngest child that is now trans, and she was like, the way I feel like we can help other people is leading by example. She was like, I know we have money. I know we are in a different, we're a different people, but the best thing you could do is accept your children for who they are. And she's absolutely right. She's absolutely right. So Terry over there crying, and I like her and Terry's relationship. I know some people feel like it's an arrangement, and it may be so, but it does seem like they support each other. And that to me, I think matters the most. Marriages don't have to be the same, but if you do have a life partner that you can grow and build with, then I think that's ultimately the best like trade-off. You know what I'm saying? Like they might have an understanding of what they are, but they seem happy together. I didn't get this scene because we going back to Jen and Gina. They're talking, and Gina is pissed because she's like, I'm sick of this lady lying on me, talking about Katie. And then while they're standing there, Shannon pulls up and they're just talking. Shannon ends up saying how bad she feels about how for the past 2 days it's been overshadowed by the whole John and situation of it all. But like she is ready to go. You know, she got to go to fly out and go to do her thing with Vicky. And they're like, well, can you talk to Alexis? Because she really, and Shannon's like, no, because she's not backing down. And so Gina is like, no, like today she was backing down. She was saying that she wanted to have a conversation with you so they could move forward, so you two could move forward. So then Emily pulls up and Emily's like, do you mind having a conversation with her? And we find out that Emily, like 20 minutes before she came over there, had a conversation with Alexis, asking Alexis, like, would she speak to Shannon? And Alexis like, yeah, I'll speak to her, but she has to be willing to like listen to me, just like I have to be willing to listen to her. So Shannon is like, no, I'm not talking to her. I am not speaking to that lady. I have nothing else to say to her. Like, she wants to hurt me. She came back to take me down. So outside, we have the other four women where you have Alexis, you have Tamara, you have Heather, and you have Katie. And so Alexis is like, are you okay with me and Shannon having this conversation? And Heather is like, yeah, I mean, like, we just talked about loving people for who they are. Like, we're in the spirit of love. Like, if it goes well, that's great. But like, yeah, y'all should try to have a conversation so you guys can move forward. So while Shannon is talking to her group, you see Alexis outside being like, thumbs up or thumbs down. Like, are we like, can we talk? Can we not talk? And Emily's like, no, girl, she don't want to talk to you. And Alexis is like, I knew it. And in all honesty, like I said, they're filming a reality show thing. Like, I know they have to have these awkward conversations. If this was real life, Shannon and Alexis would never be in the same spaces with each other. They might bump into each other, but they'll never be in the same spaces with each other. But they both signed on to do this show together. Okay. So they knew they was both going to have to operate in the same space with one another. But if it was real life, Alexis by now would have got a drink thrown in her face if it was me. Like, straight up, get out of my face, lady. And I would have walked away, okay? Would have doused her with some alcohol real quick. Jason Lee style, and I do not like him. But the way he drenched Hazel Lee, it would have been like, I mean, everywhere, you know, just in the face. So we then see outside with the girls, Heather pulled Katie to the side and tell her like, hey girl, I don't mind having a conversation with you, but I don't want to have it now. I just felt like it wasn't the time for us to have it after the whole meditation thing, but I am willing to have a conversation with you, okay? And Katie's like, okay, that's good, that's great. So everyone goes back inside. We see the lady sitting down. Shannon is like, I got to go. So she starts hugging everybody. Hey girl, hey. Alexis is thinking she's about to get a hug from Shannon, so she reaches up because she's sitting down. Shannon is bending down. Shannon bends down in her face and she said, Alexis, I know you said you wanted to have a conversation with me, but it will never happen. I'm done with you. I said, oh. I said, get her, Shannon. Get her, Shannon. I said, that lady really thought she was about to hug her. So then Shannon walks away. Alexis is like, Shannon, all I want is peace. That's all I want. I said, no, you don't, lady. So then Shannon leaves, and then Alexis tells everybody what she said. And Katie's like, ooh. Everyone's like, dang. And so Tamara was like, well, you're going to have to let her have her feelings like you have your feelings. Like, you tried. It is what it is. We just go move forward with that. And that's where that conversation is. We see is of the girls going to this vineyard. They're like bike riding there. I'd have been irritated too, especially if I didn't plan to ride a bike. So they get to the winery. They're sitting down at this picnic table. Everyone's talking about how they had a good time at the trip. But then Heather kind of makes a statement because Gina is saying like, oh, this has been great. This has been wonderful. And then she looks at Katie and she's like, do you want to go or do you want me to go? And so Gina's like, what are y'all talking about? So then Katie is like, I've been hearing that you've been calling me a liar. Excuse me. And Gina's like, yeah, because you've been lying on me. And Katie's like, no, I have not been lying on you. So then Gina gets really frustrated. She gets really angry and starts lying. She's like, you know what, Katie, this is messed up because I brought you into this group to be my friend, and you're making issues like with everybody. You're lying to everyone about me, and this is crazy. And she said, and she's talking to Heather, and Heather's like, why are you yelling at me? I ain't do nothing. And she was like, well, because I thought we had squashed whatever this was, and now you're mad again. And Heather's like, no, we had squashed it, but then I heard that you said that you only want to be friends with me, or you only want to be cool with me because I have connections to help you in the real estate game. And Gina's like, whoa, that's a blatant lie. I ain't never said that. She was like, I've never said that. So then Emily chimes in and she's like, I don't believe she would say that. Like, she don't even sound like that. Like, I don't believe she said that. So then Emily's like, Katie, what did she say? Like, because then Gina is like, where's the proof? Show me the proof. And Katie is like, I can't show you the proof because it was phone conversations, but you did say that. And Gina's like, no, I did not. So then Katie ends up saying that Gina says Heather has helped me in my career. And Heather was like, that's not what was told to me. Basically, kind of looking at down the table at Tamra, and then also like the wheels in Heather's brain is starting to turn where she's just like, so she embellished because Gina is like, Heather has never helped me. Like, she was like, I've worked really hard for my career. And then Katie brings up some name called, like, I think she said it was like an amulet or something, like some, I guess either realtor company or somebody. And Gina was like, I do not work for them. What are you talking about? So out of nowhere, like, Katie is in her confessional. No, Gina starts crying, but like Katie's in her confessional being like, why would I come in this group and just lie? Like, I don't get anything from lying. Like, what do you mean? So then Gina is like, Katie came in this group just making stuff up, just lying, just blatantly lying. So then no, Tamara jumps in and she's like, I'm gonna be honest, Gina, you getting real defensive and yelling is making you seem very guilty. So then Gina starts crying and she's like, okay, y'all, like, this is too much. Like, my friends hate me, Travis hates me. It's a lot going on. But like, so prior to them going on the bike ride to get to the vineyard, Gina was already crying to Emily about her kids because she was like, I'm responsible of 7 people's emotions. So that's her, Travis, his kids, her, like, she's like, it's a lot going on. So Heather's like, Gina, nobody hates you. We're all your friends. Tell us what's going on. And so she just starts talking about her situation with Travis. And I said, I see you, Gina. I see you. I see you. You wanted that heat off of you, so you just start crying. And they bring up Travis and how, like, she was like, she thinks she did the best thing by making Travis leave, but she doesn't know if he's ever gonna come back. And so Emily was like, that's why I was telling her, y'all need to start working towards something, because he probably feels like, what's the point of us getting back together if we're living our lives like separately? And excuse me, Gina just keeps crying because everyone's like, we have your back, you're okay. So then Katie is like, don't cry. And Gina was like, well, it's your fault that I'm crying because I thought we were cool and now you bringing this up. And Katie was just like, I won't bring it up anymore. And Gina was like, she's like, you promise. And Katie was like, yeah. And Gina was like, okay, cool. Then we moving on. I said, I see you, Gina. I see you. Because Heather ends up saying that she believes that Gina is telling the truth, because she was like, anytime she has talked to Gina about the situation, she is like willing to give her all types of information, if not more information than she asks for, and stuff she cares, like, she don't really care about. But when she talks to Katie about it, but I'm like, girl, you haven't really been talking to Katie about it. She was like, Katie is not very forthcoming about the situation. Here's my thing. I think with the whole paparazzi drama, Katie is telling the truth. I do think she is telling the truth, because Gina's story has changed multiple times. She says 10 minutes. Katie says a month or a couple of months after that. And I can see Gina trying to coach Katie on how to bring up the situation to Heather. Where I feel like she's not telling the truth is with the whole like she used Heather's for her connections, because when Katie said, well, I like Heather, I'm loyal to Heather, she has helped me with my career, it's not the same of I'm only friends with Heather because she's rich and she has connections. So on one hand, I somewhat believe Katie about like Gina lying in the beginning with the whole paparazzi thing. With this one, not so much, because even Heather was like, that's not what was told to me. So it does feel like Tamara put some extra sauce on it. But also, Gina hasn't done herself any favors, because you knew about the paparazzi stuff a while ago and you never told her. So you should have just been honest up front. Yeah, y'all, that is it. That is all. As always, remember to be bravely authentic and definitely hop down in them comments below. And I'm out, y'all. Deuces.